Oh boy, a lot more going on with this Israel situation than y'all think. Now, as many of you know, a ton of new information is rolling in by the minute. I've got a ton of reports, brand new insights, and I personally have just got back from Istanbul in Turkey 2 days ago with crowds chanting in the streets, and you won't believe what I saw in the airports. Major strike group military groups already heading over from the United States. With more information on that, breaking news of Hamas currently targeting Ben Gurion International Airport in Tel Aviv with rockets, Polish president authorizing Polish military deployment to Israel, Iran involved, now hearing Russia involved with cyber attacks, which means China's involved, all at the same time as old sneaky Bideno puts together an aid package of $100 billion to aid Ukraine. A lot of people saying this is going to get big and messy, and US is going to be involved, and the fight's going to come to us. Quick update on key points you guys need to know about coming right up. If you guys are brand new here, welcome to our awesome community where we do prepping tips, emergency preparedness how-tos, and we go over news and awareness, stuff that you might not see on mainstream media. If you happen to find value in that, be sure to hit the notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. Boy, we got a lot going on all of a sudden, and I'm telling y'all, it is coming out thick, fast, and by the minute. Now, some of you know I just got back from the Middle East over there 2 days ago, and I asked a lot of questions and I had my eyes peeled. And I can tell you what, flying over there in between Israel and Kiev kind of gives you a little pucker factor, especially just getting home and then all of this popping off not even 2 days after I get back. To say the desired feeling of getting home as things were getting more and more uncomfortable over there would be an understatement. But for those of you that don't know, Israel is at war with Hamas. Fighting raged on the conflict's second day as Israel sought to expel Hamas intruders and unleashed a second night of intense bombardment of Gaza. And in the photo you can see a missile exploding in the Gaza city during the Israel airstrike Sunday night. I'm telling you, this is a real city, a city like we experience getting blown to smithereens at the moment. Now hang tight, I've got some really good stuff after this. Just want to do a really quick recap for those of you that don't know what's going on. What did Hamas do? Just after 6:30 a.m. Saturday, sirens wailed in the southern and central Israel, warning of incoming aerial attacks. Hamas fired thousands of missiles into Israel. Then its forces crossed the Gaza border, attacked security personnel and Israeli military bases along the border, and entered Israel towns, shooting, burning houses, and taking hostages. You heard that right. Thousands of missiles and possibly thousands of people lost. Tons of hostages. It's a really big thing happening now that's going to get bigger. Why is Hamas attacking Israel now? Mohammed Deif, Hamas Secretary Military Chief, blamed the unspecified Israel desecration on the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, located on the site known as the Noble Sanctuary to Muslims and the Temple Mount to Jews. It is the most sacred site for the Jews, among the holiest for Muslims, and the most fought over spaces of land in the world. And some of you are wondering, how is Iran tied into all this? Iranian secretary officials helped plan Hamas's surprise attack and gave them the green light for the assault at a meeting in Beirut last Monday. According to senior members in Hamas and Hezbollah, another militant group which, like Hamas, is backed by Iran. Iran aims to threaten Israel from all sides through the militant groups Hezbollah and the Popular Front for the Libertarian Palestine and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad and Hamas in Gaza and the West Bank, according to senior Hamas officials. Now, the whys and the whats are all under debate. For example, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken finally had to admit that cutting the $6 billion check to Iran caused Hamas to attack Israel.
What do you say about the argument that money is fungible? So Iran may have known this money is coming and used other funds to help fund this attack that happened.
Iran has unfortunately always used and focused its funds on supporting terrorism, on supporting groups like Hamas. And it's done that when there have been sanctions, it's done that when there haven't been sanctions, and it's always prioritized that. And again, I come back to the proposition that these funds have always been, under the law, available to Iran to use for humanitarian purposes.
Real interesting, right? Now, while we're talking about money, let's talk about another one that's heavily debated right now. Because with all of this going on with Israel, some people are saying it could be a huge front, as Biden wants to ask Congress for the largest aid package for Ukraine worth US $100 billion. Joe Biden, the president of the US, has intention to turn the Congress with a request to allocate the largest aid package for Ukraine worth up to $100 billion. Coming from the Telegraph, details Biden considers a one and done bill on the financing and aid for Ukraine until the next presidential elections, trying to overcome an impasse with Republicans. Now, keep your eyes peeled on that one. Is this going to be something that just slides through the cracks while everyone's attention is on what's going on? Folks, that is insane money. Tons of U.S. military heading in that direction. Some saying it's just a front. Other people are saying that with Israel being one of our strongest allies outside of NATO, being the U.S., we're going to do what's right and go protect our ally. So lots of people, lots of theorizing that we are going to get involved into this thing, which means very well we might be up against Iran, which is partnered up with Russia, which is then partnered up with China. You can see the snowball effect of this thing. Right here from Benny Johnson on Twitter, breaking: Hamas is currently being targeted. Ben Gurion International Airport in Tel Aviv with rockets. Folks, this is an international airport, one that I just went through, very similar. And as you can see, missiles after missiles after missiles. It is just absolutely insane. And I've also seen tons of clips on TikToker. They're pointing their cameras right out of their bedroom windows, showing all this happening in their city. We're talking about Israel with a population of around 10 million people. And as I mentioned before, Polish are in. Just in, Polish president authorizes the deployment of 200 Polish military soldiers to evacuate Polish citizens in Israel. And the analysis says there's no reason for Poland to send soldiers to Israel to evacuate citizens unless it's in relation to the Polish citizens taken by Hamas, which there's already tons of reports of hostages being taken of all sorts, American, Polish, you name it. Now remember, our leadership has already stood up and said, we stand behind Israel, which sounds like they're falling right into place historically. And this is where the debate on how much the U.S. gets involved into a much bigger scenario comes in. And you have to remember, the Hamas, they're half the size of Israel. So for Iran to be funding upwards of $100 million in stuff yearly for this invasion of Israel, if U.S. gets involved, which they say they stand 100% behind Israel, who are we going to be fighting? Iran, which is partnered up with Russia, which then is partnered up with China. The speculation of how this thing could grow, definitely easy to see. Another thing taking buzz in the middle of all this, pro-Hamas supporters taking to the streets in Florida, New York, like I said, Turkey. Here on Twitter, Laura Loomer puts out breaking: pro-Hamas Palestinian terror supporters are taking to the streets in Florida. An Islamic terrorist sympathizing group in Tampa, Florida, known as the Resistance of Tampa Bay, is having a pro-Hamas rally in Tampa, Florida on Sunday, October 8, 2023. In the promotion for their event, they said that they want to celebrate the Palestinian martyrs who were murdered Israel's today. They described today's attacks on Israel heroic Palestine resistance. And their invitation goes on to say that they support Palestinian liberation and the return of any means necessary. This is a pro-Hamas rally taking place in Florida. What the heck? There is free speech and there is open support for the designated terrorist organizations and the promotion of violence, which is illegal. It goes on to read that the terrorist sympathizing rally is inciting violence and terrorism in Florida and should be shut down for the safety of the public. And here you can see the post of the emergency demonstration. What? Seriously? On our home ground? And like I said, Florida isn't the only one. I hear reports of New York. And like I said, over in Turkey, crazy people hitting the streets. And I'm telling you guys, it was hot and heavy over there. I was in the airport in Istanbul, and I saw countless groups of military men traveling through. I got video of them. A lot of them looked Middle Eastern. A ton of huge amounts of groups of people that look like they may have been from Africa. But I'm telling you, mobs and mobs of groups of men in their late 20s, early 30s. That's it. Security going through this last time was 10 full. An insane amount of checkpoints. One checkpoint, there was actually about 7 checkpoints to get about 20 feet. I had to go through several different people, multiple pat downs. My bags, which had been searched already, got searched 2 more times in that 20-foot span. Military personnel, police, and I'm telling you, everyone was on nerves end. And then I get home, right? And then all this happens. I'm telling a lot of my friends and family, I'm glad I got out of there when I did. Oh, I found another one right here, happening now. Pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas demonstrations in front of the White House. The speaker is calling this a revolution. Look at the video, and they're letting this happen in front of the White House. At what point have we let our country get to even allow this? It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Reading on, Iranian security officials helped plan Hamas's Saturday surprise attack on Israel, which they say a surprise. This thing was well planned. They did it on a religious day of rest. It's definitely well planned situation. There's reports of over hundreds of hostages during the music festival near Gaza. A lot of you people talk about sleeper cells. Here in the United States, we've got reports right here. It's only a matter of time. They're already here, and some people are saying, there's those sleeper cells for you. So really, what road are we heading down, and how close are we to it? Another controversial insight, leading reports puts out breaking. Hamas is claiming that Ukraine sold them the weapons, US funded, that they used in the attack today against Israel. Like I said, speculation in all kinds of different directions. Oh, and I found the one on New York, developing pro-Palestinian protesters marching through New York City denounce Israel. I mean, look how many people. There are tons of people that are supporting this that are already in our country right now. Tons and tons of people already with these same beliefs marching the streets. So what happens when the fight does come to us? Back to the sleeper cells? Like, is there already just a ton of people in place? Michael R. Caputo, my take. When the U.S. steps in to assist our longtime ally, Israel, tens of thousands of fighting-age Palestinians who cross the U.S. border with Biden co-assistance will execute a long-planned coordinated attack inside America. Biden did this, be prepared. And that's Michael's take on things. Again, lots of different angles, a lot of different ways people are thinking about this. Please put it in the discussion down in the comments. I want to read what you guys are thinking, which perspectives you're siding with, and which way you think this is going to unfold. You could easily get caught up thinking one way or another, but so many valid perspectives, and I've been researching this all day trying to come up with one specific angle, and I couldn't. There's way too much happening. There's too much stuff coming in, like I said, minute by minute. And by the time this video comes out tomorrow for you guys, there's probably going to be a whole other plate full of information. So let me know again what you guys are thinking down in the comments. I'm probably going to do another recap on this subject because I don't think this issue is going anywhere anytime soon. And I think that a lot of us may either get involved. As I may have mentioned, I've got people ringing in saying that people are being deployed right now. So this yet again is some huge money thing that is going to take our attention off, and a ton of other money is going to get shoveled this way, shoveled that way, or even worse than that, this could turn into a really big thing. Get involved, all those big players, and the fight could come to us, and we could deal with, well, what we don't want to deal with. So please share this out. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are thinking. I'm really looking forward to reading your guys' comments. Don't forget to watch this video or this video, some other major things happening here in the US. And as I know more, I'll keep you guys posted. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.